Hi, I'm Lewis. I had an arteriovenous malformation in the left side of my brain when I was 3 years old, resulting in a stroke. And I'm stronger than Pedro, and yeah, and I'm the best.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Like Lewis, I'm tube fed, but a really interesting fact about me is that on Instagram, social media, I look tall, but in real life, I'm actually the tallest of the short.
Lewis, for your first question, what's it like being a teenager with a feeding tube?
Be honest, I don't really know what it's like without a feeding tube as a teenager, so I can't comment on it, but just like it feels normal.
And Pedro, what's it like being an adult unapologetically living with a feeding tube?
It can be challenging sometimes because obviously the social dynamic that people have when they don't know, they make decisions that could make my lifestyle a little bit more resistant, like everything's around food, meetings, social events and things like that. So that bit conflicting, but the really good thing about it is that it's taught me a lot about discipline and being accountable and accepting our weakest points in order to be part of society. So for me, I'd probably have to say that it's challenging in some ways, but it's those challenges that give me a lot of freedom in other ways.
What would you say to someone who's new to tube feeding and feeling scared?
Basically, don't be scared, because really this is a superpower that people don't know about. What tube feeding can do for us, everyone should be able to get the benefits of having a tube feed because your meals are more nutritious, there's more timing, the digestion can get better. So this is actually a superpower, not only for your condition, but for you to get the most out of the life that you have.
It seems scary right now, but in the long run, it's way better for your health, and you can talk while eating, I guess. Yeah.
People talk a lot about choice in healthcare. What does choice actually mean to you in your everyday life?
Choice in everyday life, I deal a lot with this from a day-to-day basis because we all choose to be sovereign for our own healthcare, but the reality is we're not. We kind of put that in other people's hands. And choice is something that you do every day. You have a condition, and I saw someone actually mention that, my condition doesn't take a vacation, and they were feeling very victim mentality around that. That's the reality, is no, your condition doesn't take a vacation, but you can choose whether at that time of the year you have a better or positive attitude with your condition. So choice is something that happens every day. The time that you feed yourself, what you feed yourself, and your attitude towards your life. So you consciously have to make the choice of choosing to be happy. That's the toughest part because the condition can make it hard and miserable, but you've got to remember it can work in your favor and you literally have the choice to smile about it and make it work for you, or you can become a slave to it. Choice.
If someone had never met a tube-fed person before, what's the most wrong thing they'd probably assume about you?
Most people who I've met and they find out on tube feed, they get very confused because they think it's like I can't actually eat, but some people with it can, or they think, oh, but you're not like disabled. You're like just, I guess, normal. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if someone, but with me, it's a little bit different. Most people that see me with the tube feed is they see me in the gym. Majority of the time is feeding myself, so everyone thinks I'm on steroids with a big syringe in the gym. So that's the fun part, and I like to joke about it because after one session, I'll probably be dead because I inject myself like 10 times. So I don't know, I must have a really strong liver. But that's the one comment that most people that haven't seen the tube feed, they see that, they don't understand it. But because I look personally healthy, they kind of just guess, well, what's he doing? And I actually did a story once on Instagram that got the most views, and it was people telling me that I was going to die within a week because of the way I was having my pre-workout. No one actually took the time to see that it was a tube feed, so it was pretty interesting.
What kind of support has genuinely made the biggest difference to you?
Wholesome blends or blended by Sarah is very good because before them it was like there was no like healthy like stuff which you could put in your peg unless you want to make it yourself, but some people don't have that like opportunity. So blended by Sarah is very good.
Yeah, because I agree with you, because before it was all that hospital food, which is nothing bad. I mean, there's a purpose for it, but it's not sustainable. And I used to blend my food until your mum came along with the already pre-blended meals, and the nutritionist looking over it, you know you're getting real food. But people don't realize that real food changes the way you feel and think. You know, so for me, it makes a big difference in my overall attitude and my energy. The processed stuff, I find I was always depressed and not happy. It's strange how that works.
How do you work around blending meals when you have a busy schedule and you're out of the house?
I'm very lucky that I've got a family that's quite supportive. My son is my main go-to guy because he knows what meals I have. He's been around me my sports and bodybuilding career, so he knows how to blend them and the consistencies. But my partner and my daughter usually have my back. But it just comes down to scheduling and planning. So I always have fresh rice, fresh veggies, fresh protein in the fridge. I weigh it up and I just blend for the day, and it's creating that structure. And once that structure's in place, it all follows through. It's like having a kid. Mums have the best organizational skills when you have a toddler. It's the same thing. I'm just an old toddler.
Now, Lewis, do people ever underestimate what you're capable of?
Oh yeah, but that's just like, it's not a tube feed thing. It's like just like a common disabled thing. Like, I think, oh, since I'm disabled, I can't really like do what other people can, which really pisses me off. But yeah.
We're changing that.
Yeah.
Pedro, people don't usually expect tube-fed and fitness professional to go together. How do you react when people find out?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I actually think like, how come? Because really they go hand in hand. I had one guy once tell me, why are you seeing him for your diet? Because he feeds through a tube, he doesn't know anything about food. And the reality, because of my tube, is it's actually taught me a lot about not only nutrition, but how the body processes food. And it amalgamates so much knowledge together because of my experience with tube feeding. So fitness and health is actually in alignment with tube fed. I would even argue that a healthy person who had a tube and could blend and process his meals better would be overall healthier. So in a lot of my clients actually blend their meals to get them in throughout the day, especially if they're minors or they're working in the desk. So for me, it's surprising because it actually goes hand in hand.
Lewis, how's your experience of tube feeding in school?
Oh, I have a story about this. I used to blend at school. The school tried to help, but like the first year was fine, but next year they wanted like me to bring a support buddy and like all this dumb stuff, like all this like unnecessary stuff. So like they wanted me to sign a contract for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't, obviously, but I don't anymore. Yeah, I used to, and after the contract thing, I blended in the playground for a bit. Usually when I let my friends help, I'll get it all over myself, so I'm never doing that again. Never again. Damn Mac, how dare he?
Did that make a mess?
Yes, it was all over my shirt.
Oh, you know, that happens to me when my tube sometimes bursts and it like squirts. You know, like it just pulls out because I haven't circulated completely. So, and sometimes it's thick, so I'm like, oh, and it like bursts out and it's just like everywhere.
Yikes.
And I just look like I've just spilt. I'm a big kid.
Yikes.
So it's like horrible, man.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
So how do people react when you bolus feed in the gym?
Most people when I'm feeding in the gym, they think I'm on steroids. They look at the syringe and they start to look twice. And I love the opportunity when people go, sorry, bro, what's that? And I love that because it gives me the opportunity to actually let them know what's going on and what the tube feed's there for, and it creates more awareness. But more often than not, people will like look at me and judge, and there is a bit of a reputation about doing steroids because they see a big syringe and I'm bolus feeding in the gym.
Lewis, how's your bodybuilding going?
Oh, it's so good. Look at this. Like, honestly, I'm so good.
It just happens in your sleep, eh? Yeah, I know the same thing. You wake up, you're like, geez, what happened there? I'm jacked ass.
What is the funniest or most ridiculous comment you've gotten about your tube?
I haven't really got any funny ones, so.
I don't really have any funny ones. There are some interesting ones. I had one person tell me, oh, you look the way you look because of your tube. Oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, bro, well, you're actually not wrong. Like, it's true. Because if I was like you, I'd eat McDonald's and look like you. Yeah. This is the truth, though. Actually, I had somebody tell me that it was my choice to have the tube. Yeah, but you can speak. If you can speak, you can swallow. I was like, thanks, bro. That's how it works. Yep, spot on.
Any ridiculous ones from classmates?
Nah, I don't. No, they don't. My friends are good. They already knew I had a tube feed and like tube, and they know all about it. So nothing really. Yeah.
That's the good thing about mates like that.
Yeah.
I think that's been the biggest thing is friends that treat me like I'm me, and just because I feed through a tube, they don't care. It's like, why can't you do what we do? They treat us like normal. It's like perfectly fine for them. They accept us for who we are, and there's no difference. I think that's helped me feel like this is okay.
The most unusual place you've ever fed?
Had a tube feed at Disneyland once. Pretty fun. Yeah.
It's a bucket list story.
Yeah. I don't really remember it, but yeah.
We should start that, a bucket list, tube feeding, Eiffel Tower,
Oh yeah.
Grand Canyon, like that would be cool. I think for me it was the boot of my car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I've got like a makeshift, so if I'm going somewhere and I'm going grocery shopping, I time my meals, I train, and then I'll go, open the boot, and I feed myself out of the boot, and then I'll go do groceries. That's the weirdest thing. People always go, what's he doing in the boot of his car?
One thing you wish people would stop saying?
I hate it when people say like, "Oh, why are you using that? You can eat through your mouth." Like, just shut up. Like, yeah.
Mine's not tube related. No, I just wish people would stop saying, you're not that tall in real life.
Most unexpected convenience of having a tube?
Being able to talk while I'm eating. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I never thought about that. For me, not having to taste bad food.
Oh yeah, that's also
Like
good.
sometimes it's really, like if I'm sick or I'm not in the mood to eat, or I sometimes think I would never have eaten that because I don't like it, but if it's good for you and then I can have it and I don't have to worry about the taste. So healthy food without worrying about how it tastes.
Yeah,
That's a really good thing.
that's a good one as well.
Have you ever felt underestimated because of your tube? Has your tube ever given you more freedom? Have you ever hidden your tube to make someone else feel more comfortable?
Yeah.
At appointments, do people often speak to the person you're with instead of you?
I don't let that happen ever, bro.
Have you ever used humour to avoid an awkward explanation?
You're a champion of that. That's your strong one.
Has tube feeding ever stopped you doing something you love?
No, I'd say no either.
No.
But you wouldn't let it either. No.
Has tube feeding made you more organised during the day?
Oh.
No.
Boy,
Nah.
that's because you got everyone running around you. Oh, we got to swap places, bro.
Yeah.
Swap around. You can look after him for a week.
I'm good.
And your mom can look after me.
Do people assume tube feeding means less independence?
Yeah.
Yeah, you always think you can't do shit for yourself.
Yeah.
Do you still enjoy cooking?
Oh, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
do actually.
Yeah.
Not because not when I have to, but
Yeah.
Have you ever skipped a social gathering because it was focused around a meal?
I know.
Nah.
Do people assume you can't eat anything because of your tube?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Has tube feeding changed the way you plan your day?
No.
Strangers often ask you questions about your tube.
It's surprising.
Nah.
Very cool. I reckon for you it hasn't changed much. How old were you when you had the first put in?
Number one. I was like
No.
8, 7, 8.
So did it change after that? Or did you not feel much of it, or you don't remember much of it?
I don't remember much of that. So.
Yeah, it was interesting for me. It was because I was like 21, 22 at the
Oh
time.
yeah.
And my closest friends it didn't, but it changed with me because I had to be more aware of what I was doing with my day in order to get my meals in and have my
Yeah.
prepped and my blended.
Yeah.
So in some ways, it's so much harder for you because you had to start that at an early age. But in the other way, it's also that for you, it's a norm.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting.